Good evening and welcome back to the Super Metroid Randomizer Tournament for Speedgaming Live Online 2025. This is a round 1 bracket matchup featuring the 3-seed mm2nescartridge and the 14-seed BFrobber. My name is DJ Webb and I'll be bringing you this series. Joining me here in Game 1 is WX Fan, aka Adam. How you doing, Adam?
It's the Catalina wine mixer. No, totally wrong. Totally wrong show. Agent, you are so fired! What's up, everybody? Gotta have a little fun. I'm excited. This is gonna be a ton of fun. So, I'm joining DJ for game number 1 here. This entire series is meant to be DJ and Sloters taking you through here on comms. Sloters will be joining for game 2 and, if needed, game number 3. But we are in for a big night tonight. You get mm2nescartridge on the left. You get BFrobber on the right. 2 legendary SM rando runners about to go head to head here, and I think we could absolutely see 3 games.
Yep, these are definitely 2 very talented runners. MM2 obviously being the higher seed, he did win his group and a little bit more success overall historically, but I know these 2 are good friends as well, and Beefy, as most people call him. He's very talented. He's got, a lot of tech and stuff like that. I think frankly, for both of them, there have been parts of their randomizer journey where, risky things can come into effect, and sometimes, that doesn't necessarily work. But, yeah, 2, like you said, good runners, good friends. Should be, hopefully, a very interesting series. I do know Beefy, despite getting second in his group, did actually tie with the group winner, which was Derp for him. So, definitely no slouch, and I know that both these runners should be able to put on a great show for us, and we'll see what the seed delivers. This is only our second matchup here in this round 1, and we've got several coming in here over the weekend, so it should definitely be action-packed for all the Super Metroid fans out there.
Speaking of that, if you all want to get involved, and if you all want to either commentate or track, go join the SGLIVE online Discord, !SGL25SMR. The command is in the title of the video. So go ahead and join that if you're interested in comms and tracking. We got a bunch over the entire weekend, so definitely come and join if you're interested in volunteering. Now, we got our vanilla morph ball. What's hanging out in Taco Tank today? Give us some spicy plasma beam. Let's go. Oh my goodness, we got ourselves the speed booster. Now that's interesting.
It's a very big early item to see here. We did also have both of our runners coming over here to the right first. There's been some propaganda being spread by a certain Nintendo Entertainment System cartridge talking about seconds and time save and all these other shenanigans. But I will say that M2, as well as being one of the stronger movement runners here in the tournament, I would say also very much a practice ROM grinder and also just a timer of many things. So I'm sure he's happy that his friend Beefy there also joined him in the going to the right first for that minor and major before stepping down to the alpha missiles. And we only got missiles here thus far in this seed, so we are going to be headed back up. We do already have the ability to break bomb blocks, so BT doesn't necessarily have to give us anything here.
That is
also
correct.
Shout out our tracker Jestro, who is also doing a lot of the setup. I'm sure he's going to be getting our volume sync a little bit in order here. There have been some things going on the back end, and we'll get everything sounding good for you, so you don't hear the item pick up 5 seconds before it happens, which is always fun.
I was wondering why it was about a 3-second ahead someone got an item. But that's what happens sometimes when we have a 5-minute delay between races, and that's something else as well. If you're unfamiliar and you're just coming and watching the Dash tournament for the first time, the racers actually started 5 minutes ago, so what you're seeing here on the race stream is a 5-minute delay from what they're actually doing. Their streams are 5 minutes behind, so sometimes we have had audio issues here, so we got Jestro the Fantastic taking care of that for all of you. I do apologize if I blew everyone's ears out. I did drop my gain all the way. I'm just saying. It's not my fault if Jestro wanted to hear 200% WX fan comms.
You just have a big, powerful voice, almost as powerful as Samus.
I mean, yeah, I could go several places with that, but the jokes wouldn't make sense and it would be very weird. So we're going to leave that alone. as we get out MM2 and Beefy here with a beautiful Alcatraz escape. Now we got 4 seconds ahead from MM2. We're going the wrong way.
And we completed our little movement set here. Speed booster early, high jump shortly thereafter. I'm not going to have to deal with the awkwardness of speed, no high jump, movement, and jump height, and all those other shenanigans. We are, however, still looking both for some new information here as far as the portals, as well as, hopefully a miner that isn't a missile, which currently we do not yet have, peeked here in the red tower. If anyone here isn't familiar with how we do things here, again, this is the Dash Randomizer. We are playing area randomization, which basically means that the map is split into different chunks. The area, so-called, that you're in is displayed on the HUD in the top right, and when you go into these gray flashing doors scattered around the map, you will go more than likely to a different area. It also probably won't be where you're expecting to go. For example, this would typically have taken us to Torian and Green Brinstar, but instead it was the back of Wreck Ship and here at the top of Red Brinstar, where the only thing we can currently do is go up this door, or elevator, and enter this door. If this isn't the path forward, we are able to get to the front of Wreck Ship, which is right there.
So we have both Wreck Ship doors found in 3 door transitions. That's insane.
So that did have to be a non-missile miner, because quite literally there was nothing else that we could do except for get this exact miner. And unfortunately, we can't even go into the Wreck Ship. It is a green door here from this direction. You can go in from the other direction, and that would be really silly. But from the other direction, there's no locked doors. It's just a bunch of slow underwater movement that the high jump boots do allow us to get through. But much more sensible, I believe, is to go back down here in the Red Brinstar. We can access the rest of this area. Beefy is probably about to realize that that's a green door that he can't do anything with right now.
Oh, right.
Hopefully sooner rather than later. Otherwise, he's going to be a little bit upset.
Doors.
There are some door changes, but it mostly gets rid of the ammo requirements for save rooms and energy refills and stuff like that. Otherwise,
that's the door.
Mostly vanilla. And yeah, this is where we want to be here. Middle of Red Tower, taking us to the Green Brinstar top door, which is nice. We got plenty of opportunities to get supers before anything strange really happens to us. Plus, already having speed, we are able to check every miner here, provided we get the ability to check the wave gates.
Correct. So we are about 3 to 4 seconds ahead of audio here on MM2 side. We will get that address for all of you. Please do not worry. Jester is working on it. Now, there is something to be noted here, DJ. Green Brinstar 16 minor item checks. 5 of those are majors, and of course, this is a major minor tournament.
Yep. So basically what that means for the uninformed, there's 2 item pools separate in the game. One of them is the unique item upgrades plus the energy tanks and reserves. The other one is missiles, supers, and power bombs. Largely those are vanilla item pool. There is one change there. The high jump E-tank is a minor and the Wreck Ship Right Super is a major. That was done a long time ago for balancing purposes. And we've just kind of stuck with that here for the last 8 years, I guess. Much longer than I've been around, mind you.
3, 2, 1. Is that what you're talking about? The minor item distribution?
No, I was talking about that switch up for the major and minor one location switch. But 3, 2, 1, that's been standard for a little bit as well. I think initially it was actually 3, 3, 1 in certain randomizers, but 3, 2, 1 has been the standard also for a good long while.
3, 2, 1 just makes things more interesting.
Yes, it definitely makes ammo hunts not as bad as they could be. Obviously, it isn't like, if it was perfect, there would just be 33 missiles, 22 supers, 11 power bombs in every seed. That is not how it works. It just rolls basically, I guess, a 6-sided die every time it is placing a miner, and half of those are missiles, a third of them are supers, and then the other one is a power bomb. And we do already have Spring
Yeah,
ball,
DJ, I don't mean to laugh, but I kind of wanted to joke. Imagine if the racers found Spring Ball and we had everything we needed for underwater movement. We got Spring Ball.
We're definitely collecting these suitless items here. High jump early, spring ball also here early. We have, there is potential for suitless water movement. I was talking a little bit about there, in the wreck ship, a little bit jokingly, just because of how out of the way and slow that would be. MM2 tried to do fast things to get the blue without, having to stop to get hit by enemies. And that just made him get hit by 2 enemies and not get blue at the time that he wanted it. So. Try to save time at your own peril. That's the classic speedrunning adage. Don't lose seconds trying to save frames.
All right, chat. So, real quickly, we're going to get some housekeeping out of the way with. Exclamation point R, give the racers a follow. Exclamation point C to follow the commentary and tracking team. And again, exclamation point SGL25SMR to give the Discord a join. Feel free to come and volunteer. And folks, if you like raising money for charity, I mean, let's face it, who doesn't? Soon, you're going to be able to use that command that I put into the Discord. It'll be exclamation point Metroids. Speedgaming and I have teamed up to hold a charity Metroid Marathon at the end of this month on the 26th and 27th of September here in 2025, and it's going to be an amazing marathon. Going to raise money for a mental health charity called Safe in Our World, and it's going to be phenomenal. We'll have more information for you once that command and command prompt gets uploaded. Forget suitless, as we've got the Varia suit. So we still have underwater suitless movement. Varia does make things really interesting, considering we don't exactly have any heated areas found yet here, DJ.
That does make it pretty likely that we're about to find some, and yeah, various early is pretty nice. And like we were talking about with that suitless underwater movement, we've got high jump, we've got spring ball, now we've got the double jump. We're getting close to already not really needing that gravity suit here, especially with the skill level that both of these runners have. You are in a pretty good position here for the seed to just kind of be laying itself before us here a little bit. Very nice green Brinstar here. Already having speed and high jump, we got the spring ball, the various suit, and the double jump. So we're looking to have a nice little comfy start here thus far. Again, the only things we can't do right now are in Meridia, and there is a whole lot of the world that is open to us. So probably find something here that'll be pretty nice for us, or we could find Meridia and just make the commentator look silly.
Why? Because why not? Now, the interesting thing to point out, this is Upper East Meridia. So if Aqueduct ends up being a one-way, that could come into play later on.
There's also a little bit noteworthy here. This minor item distribution is extremely powerbomb heavy right now.
Yes.
We only found 2 super packs. They were both in the Brinstar Reserve area. You can see MM2 keeping that super count high here early on in this seed.
Oh.
And yeah, hey, look.
Hi! Look at that Upper Norfair.
The old adage rings true. The absolute best deboost you will ever see are the ones that you don't intend to do and also don't want. He got really, really far, really, really fast off of that, I'm gonna say multi-viola knowing that it's wrong. It might just be a viola. I don't know what those enemies are called there in Chronic Boost. But, yeah, Upper Norfair.
I think they're multi-violas. They look the same color anyway.
So, very nice early find here, especially, having the various suit early and getting here over into Bubble Mountain without having to deal with power runs or anything like that. Plus, this is a 5 portal area. We have all of the ability to check all of the other ones, as well as all 5 items that are here without any real trouble. We've got, again, great movement, high jump, and speed. So getting anywhere is not difficult, nor will it take very long. And then, more than likely, once we get here out of Bubble Mountain, we'll, have single chamber to check right there at the end of the wave beam check. And depending on where that goes, we can, see some other portal checks and also those left side items. But very, very comfy start, and yeah, a little bit of that wreck ship issue with Beefy, both falling in the in the ocean, and also not remembering that that door was green. As M2 pulls out some really, really cool spring ball strats to get a grapple beam. Suitless item number 3.
Yeah. Puts Everest now into logic.
Yeah, so if we find Ice Beam, they're in major go mode. That would be extremely early here. Obviously, we could also find the gravity suit, but that's way less interesting. No one wants that.
Nah.
Yeah, this is also really interesting. Major minor is typically the item split where you are more than likely to see pretty large E takes them out. We are 14 minutes in here. We have 5 majors. We got 6 majors actually. I wasn't even looking at the HUD for that grapple beam. 7, because also in the HUD is a double jump. 7 unique items and 3 E-tanks. That is also very uncommon. M2 is picking up a very large amount of power bombs. I would not be doing it that way, but M2 does silly things
I think
power bombs are helpful for.
I think it's bot boon. I think he wants it in case he can't find Ice Beam to attempt a Crystal Flash clip.
That matters if we not get neither Ice Beam nor Gravity Suit, though. And
right,
he has 30 power bombs already. So again, like the 25th, like whatever, I get it, but like 30, like if you're that unsure about the CF clip, should you be going for it? That's the question that I ask. Like 25 is a lot of attempts, so. Again, we're probably just going to find Ice Beam, be in major go mode, and none of this will matter. And we would have lost 7 seconds to me on not picking up power bombs. And I would laugh. Mostly because he would have made up probably 30 seconds on movement already at this point. So, totally immaterial. As you can see, he does have a pretty decent positional lead here on Beefy. Somewhat related to the movement and somewhat related again to that little bit of trouble we had there in West Ocean. And there goes double jump. We hardly knew thee.
Yep, double jump upgraded to the space jump. Double jump is a dash randomizer exclusive item. You can see it in the upper right hand corner of the racer screens. BFrobber does have it enabled. You can see it colored on MM2's screen because he has a space jump. It's grayed out. All right, here we go. This is single chamber to Main Street. This will be a save, a pivot save here to check crab hole.
Yeah, these could actually be. It could be really interesting. It could also not be really interesting. It's a little bit of an awkward spot here. I said how nice it was, finding that first portal here in the Upper North Fair. In some ways, you would actually rather come in here after finding like the second portal, because then you only really have one extra portal to check with this. And this is one of those ways that I was going to say that this could get
spicy.
Interesting. Because, so number one, currently we do not have a logical way to get out of this area. We do have an illogical way.
MM2, I think you have enough power bombs. Matter of fact, you are 3 power bomb packs away from filling out your 50 PBs.
Again, that one was even more out of the way, wasting time for no reason. But I digress. Yeah, so I was saying, we don't have a logical way out of here. We do have a way out of here. I know for a fact M2 is more than capable of that double spring ball jump, which will get you out of here. The awkward thing is that despite having the Various suit, the boss that is difficult to kill here is actually Ridley, just because, again, we have 1 billion power bombs and only 15 supers. Probably, with all of this ammo, I would assume you can kill Ridley here. But it is hitting all of those power bombs, especially depending on how many double hits you need, as M2 is very stubbornly not leaving this room to get a guaranteed super drop and being punished way harder than he has any right to be. This is actually really dumb, and I agree with him. He's just getting like the dumbest drops ever. But yeah, if this is Ridley, which it was close to being, we did not get a fade out, but it is just a fan tune. Definitely would have been a bit of a long and, got to be a little bit precise there, especially with those power bombs. But this fight will be really easy, and of course, the good thing about having that farm done is that You're not going to lose those supers on accident, so they're going to be as full as they can be whenever you do end up needing those super missiles. So not going to be much sweat off of his back. Gets
Not at all. So
as
easy boss here. Yep, we should take a chance to mention that this is bosses shifted. Now, what does bosses shifted mean? Bosses shifted means that when you defeat Phantoon here in Kraid's Lair, it'll unlock Kraid's Closet. So, when you defeat the boss in the area that they are in, it unlocks that entire area. The biggest example of this is the wrecked ship. Whatever boss is there, you beat it, and the entire wrecked ship is activated. So MM2 will go peek Kraid's Closet after this, and is done with Phantoon. Also, I want to just keep in mind, for those of you looking at the tracker, we mark the areas the bosses are defeated, not by the boss itself. So the area the boss is defeated is the reason Kraid is marked off on MM2 side. Now, Beef is not heading the crab hole. Is this going to come back to bite him, DJ?
Yeah, it was interesting. So he took that save that we just saw him reload for. That's also a little bit of an addition here for Area Randomizer on Dash to have those saves, especially in West Meridia, close to the portals. That way you can have a little bit easier time and potentially save scumming stuff. But he saved there, and then he saved in Kraid's Lair, and then he power bombed when he had a shot block, and then he said, "I'm not even gonna deal with the boss there," and said, "Let me just get back out of there." So he has a save at Kraid's Lair. He could get back there anytime with another reset, but yeah, routing wise, depending on where Turian is, which we haven't found yet, it could definitely matter. Charge Beam makes it definitely interesting, especially without any beams. We'll see how much of a hassle it is not having that early. But we are getting some more.
So this here is actually a tad bit of a problem, because the door that MM2 actually has to go into is a left side door. So to execute what's called a gravity jump, you'd have to jump from one side to the other, but you need the correct facing door. So MM2 is attempting the very rare double springball jump, and actually is going to need to execute, yeah, nicely done, double springball jump, gets out of crab hole. That is not easy to do, folks, but pulls it off. So Kraid's Lair and Phantoon down for MM2 as Beefy is making his way on over to the rest of the doors. I missed the door. Did Beefy check, what do you call it? Did he check Croc Speedway?
Yeah, so he went down to the Croc door. That took him in the Red Tower at the bottom on the little Meridia exit there on the lower side of Red Tower. And then he went down to the other door, which normally leads to Upper Norfair, and it did, in fact, lead to Upper Norfair just across the hall from its vanilla portal there in Business Center. So he got here by hook or by crook. And I expect him to is about to be showing us that as well. And then the left side of Business Center is the front of Lower Norfair. We could elect to do that here if we so desire. There is a couple of majors there in Red Tower, plus that outstanding portal, plus Wreck Ship, which is pretty much all over there, again, with the front and back being as close as they are. So we'll see. Front or Lower Norfair isn't the most appealing portal, especially with the lack of information that we have. Frankly, you don't really want to do that if the back is specifically Turian. If the back is Croc, you would want to kind of do that now. But yeah, definitely makes sense. Come down here, get these final two Upper Norfair items checked. Do get the screw attack, which very much adds to the appeal of a potential Lower Norfair play. So we'll see how our runners are feeling here. But yeah, being that boss up and not being super far positionally behind definitely seems like right now MM2 has got a little bit of an advantage here in this race. And again, you can see calling seeds linear is always a little bit of a crapshoot, just because there are a lot of choices that they could make. Most of them would probably be worse than what they have done, so it makes sense that the runners are still basically following each other. But
correct.
In that in that regard, it is definitely favoring M2 right now again with a little bit better movement and also having that boss out of the way. So
you got it. So now it's going to be really interesting to see where Beef goes, because he knows where Lower Norfair is, but again, no gravity suit to get through. Lava dive, suitless lava dive is difficult. But here, we're going to get the final Red Burn Star portal check, and that, or the final Red Student Star door check. And that is going to be Tube. Tube is going to connect to Red Fish. So we do very much. We have some potential one rays here, DJ. Meme route we haven't seen, and the right side criteria doors we haven't seen. Those 3 doors are going to lead to either Torian, Croc, West Meridia, East Meridia, or Lower Norfair. So that's 5 potentials for 3 doors. There is a good chance we have a potential one-way here in this team.
Those, Croc and Tyrion are definitely somewhere. We'll have to figure that out. Only a reserve here at Space are definitely not what we were looking for. And yeah, that top of West Meridia portal, I think that that's a little bit more of a disadvantage here for Beefy not having done that Crates layer yet. Because now, like, it's probably, like, there's a little bit more appeal, frankly, to that, pre-aqueduct door, and again, he just kind of has to get Crates layer done at some point. And again, like, depending on where Turian is, we just kind of don't know how much that matters right now. Is he going to get the speed keep? It looks like he might have. So we are checking X right here. We have both the space jump and the grapple beam, so all of the potential, ways that you could get here logically were in our hands, and the gravity suit is the reward. So that's go mode.
Yep, that's go mode for the Beefy.
Yeah, Beefy needs either that charge beam, which is very available, or a lot more ammo. And for him to, he's gonna want not the charge P shooter in 3520, so definitely not gonna be done picking up items here. So again, first to that second suit there for Beefy, but without Craig's layer done, we're gonna have to see just how much that matters. Again, so specifically, if Turian is at that last West Meridia portal, it kind of doesn't matter. It's just that the charge beam specifically is there, and especially if we run into, some good beams here along our way. Beefy is definitely going to be going to a lot of ammo locations here, and M2 has the ability to not do at least some of, potentially the longer ones that we may see. Again, it's been such a powerbomb heavy seed already that, despite having already gone through all of Upper Norfair and all of Green Brim, which are by far the 2 best places to get miners, we're still stuck at 20 supers for both runners, which is not a lot. You can see this here. Beefy is preparing for a Ridley. He's definitely going to this wreck ship play right now, and very intelligently, getting these super missiles up. I do like also coming down here. We got a couple of miners here, as well as some. This is a very nice room to farm both power bombs and supers in. So ammo will be in a good place. And there is another super missile finally. We'll see if M2...
Ask and ye shall receive. DJ Raiders from Speedgaming 4. Welcome in. We greatly appreciate you hanging out here with us. I'm WX Fan 21, joined by the fantastic DJ Webb on commentary. Jestro Zooks, the amazing tracker, here joining us for Game 1. It'll be DJ and Sloters joining you all for Game 2. And should we need it, a Game 3. Friendly reminder that these are single elimination. This is a single elimination bracket. There is no double elimination. So this is for all the marbles. You really got to be cautious of what you're doing, and you have to, of course, execute.
Speaking of execution here, like I was saying a little bit, M2 with that charge beam doesn't necessarily need to be, going super out of his way for miners, but going for miners did get Beefy 2 super missiles here at the top red tower, plus an extra missile pack. So if this is Ridley, Beefy will definitely be doing some catching up. As you can see in the HUD, the charge P shooter does 60 damage per shot, which is a very, very small number. Best case for MM2 is literally not Ridley. But again, that crate layer advantage plus specifically that charge beam advantage is still looming a bit large here at this middle/end game of the seed. That is not Ridley. There's a fade out, so we're all fine here, not having to deal with a pretty slow fight as it would have been. And Beefy gets another power bomb. We're gonna have to talk to Kupo here in a second and say, you know, what were these lies we were told about ammo ratios, and why did we get a seed that thus far we've seen 40 power bombs?
Yep, crate in the wreck.
And only 30 supers. So
X-Ray has said no to that one there. So no to X-Ray.
I am curious what, if any, items M2 will check from here. I don't expect he's the kind of person that will go to the right super, as I'm completely wrong right away. Ooh, Beefy unfortunately does miss that crate quick kill. That super missile was just a little bit on the late side. No reward here, just another E-tank. We very, very much do not need energy with both suits, plus the energy that we already have, plus screw attack. So, will he check the left super? No, he's playing this like I do, honestly, which is kind of not what I expect from him too. He's much more of a minor item player than I am, even with the charge beam. It's risky to like bet on like basic, unless you get exactly plasma. You want 2 beams from this point to the end, and there aren't a ton of major items that you necessarily want to be looking at. And you know, on the other hand, you're probably going to run into more supers that would definitely, you know, be very, very beneficial to you. So I'm interested in where he goes from here. Criteria, definitely an appetizing place. Again, we can go over to that right side and do the 2 portals. But yeah, as Kaizentin is asking, no, it is not strict ratio. It is just a roll every single time it places a miner. So we literally will never know how many miners are in any given seed unless you like download it yourself and literally hundo the seed, because unlike previous randomizers, it doesn't even tell you in the credits. So you just gotta roll with the flow and see just how many missiles you can pick up in a seed. I think I've seen 125 in this tournament.
Okay, that number sounds about right. Folks, once again, let's get some housekeeping out of the way with exclamation point R. Give the racers a follow, exclamation point C. To follow the commentary and tracking team, there is Aqueduct. East Meridia will not be a one-way. Lower Norfair still has that potential. Once again, I'm WXFan21, joining DJ Webb here for game number 1. Sloters will be on comms for games 2 and game 3, should we need it. I see Sloters hanging out in chat. What's up, Sloters? Hope you're doing well. MM2 making short work of Botwoon here. Gotta be careful. Again, you've said this before, DJ. We still only have 20 super missiles for MM2. Still gotta be careful, but forget the super missiles. That's phenomenal. Best beam you could find in terms of damage. Plasma beam acquired in MM2 has a possibility of sub 1 hour in the seed.
I mean, depending on how this map plays out, like he's looking at a low 50, maybe even a little bit better. We can't see that difference. Having not done Crate's Lair, it makes sense for Beefy to do that, and of course, the outcome I was talking about that was actually potentially best for him as far as getting Crate and then right into Turian. Doing it early doesn't really make it that good. So looking like MM2's route, with that crate advantage already, gonna look like it's paying out here pretty good, especially, finding that charge beam and then following it up with a plasma find here in East Meridia, very on path. Didn't, really go out of his way for miners. As like I was saying, you're gonna be seeing Beefy check these miners. He might get the charge beam there and Crates there. He also might not. I do expect we're going there now, although frankly you don't have to. It is right here at the end of the game for you. So yeah, I don't even think, I think this is a totally fine play to just say, it's Kraid's lair, I'm going to do it at the end, and I don't need any items, so I'm just going to not care about it. But again, specifically Charge Beam is kind of a worst case scenario for him, so I will say the absolute best case scenario here for him too is that this final right side criteria portal ends up being the back of Lower Norfair, and then he'd just have to get to West Meridia, and then he'd find Turian. And frankly, would you go there over going to Meme Route? I feel like you might. I don't know. It's actually kind of tough.
So here so in my opinion for Beefy, because this is the back of LN, what I'm doing is I'm taking a pivot save after I defeat, we know it's Ridley now. After I defeat Ridley in Lower Norfair, I'm taking a pivot save, and I'm going to go check that door at Three Musketeers. That is the shortest of the two Lower Norfair routes. If that ends up being Torian, you're kind of in trouble, because you have left Kraid, you've left the wreck ship, unless Beefy did the wreck ship and I missed it. But I would absolutely go check the door. Just based on Beefy's routing, I would check the door.
Did he not do wreck ship? I was sure he was headed that way.
I thought he did. Yeah. Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, so we did just find Turian there in West Meridia, so this is not Turian. And it does, having found both Kraid and Turian, I think it did make sense for him to do this now, because of course, if it's Croc, you literally have to.
Wait a minute, Croc, when did we find West Meridia?
Beefy was just there. The pre-aqueduct portal is in fact Turian.
Okay, thank you. Which means it's going to be back of Lower Norfair. Okay, just making sure I have the correct ship information. So, Rich D, we appreciate the kind. Yeah, Rich D, we appreciate the kind words from you. Thank you. All right, so MM2. Yeah, you're right. If MM2 hits this properly, he could have a very low 50 seed. Just because Lower Norfair and Torian takes so long to get through.
Yeah, I mean, unbeknownst to him, obviously, Meme Route was the best direction for him to go, but that's kind of a crazy thing, because if that's Turian, you really just don't want to go there, so it definitely makes sense. Yep. I think he's probably just going to do what Beefy just did, but of course, he's already done Kraid, he's also already done East Meridia now, and then, they're going to have some kind of high five edge there in Lower Norfair. I think you go out the front. Yeah, I think you go out the front, funnily enough. For MM2, he's going to know that, because he's probably about to find Turian there in West Meridia, and then he'll just go to the front of Lower Norfair and come back out the front, where Beefy's going to go to the back, which is good for him because it leads to Criteria, which is where East Meridia is. But yeah, M2 very, very, very firmly in a pretty dominant position here in this race right now. And yeah, having that plasma beam already, you can see all this farming that Beefy's doing, trying to get those super missiles back up for a potential Ridley here. And it is Ridley here, so he does.
We know it is. Yeah,
have some farming done. But yeah, MM2 has absolutely no worries about literally anything down here with that plasma beam. It is a 40-shot fight, which isn't the fastest, but it's faster than farming a bunch.
Even he's about to find Torian. This is huge info.
So yeah, very clean play here. The routing also worked out in a very clean way for MM2, especially being able to confidently go down into that Kraid's lair and trust in the double spring ball jump escape, getting both the boss area out of the way early as well as that charge beam, which was helped by the plasma beam that we found in East Meridia. So a pretty nice and comfy seed here for MM2. Beefy is dealing with this Ridley. Came in with 28 supers, so do have to supplement a few missiles here. Ridley does take double damage from the supers, which is why it is only 30 despite being 18,000 health, and then 12 more missiles after that. He has a plethora of missiles, as he's showing by missing a bunch of them just for fun, but definitely a dead Ridley there. And,
nicely done, Beefy.
MM2 charging his beam so that he can pseudo screw through the flames with the screw attack. There's some old route muscle memory in there, I'm sure.
Pretty much.
Possibly Hundo as well.
All right.
Like I said. Well, because Beefy's going out the back, we are actually going to miss our high five, probably by like a room or so, unfortunately. But
At the way MM2 was running, his Samus is about to teleport.
He definitely moves fast. That's why the timer is yelling at all of us.
Blat. Shout out to the Blat timer. Hey, Derp, if you're watching, hashtag bring back the Blat timer.
It lives on through MM2, who I don't know why Derp. I think there was definitely at a time, some pressure from people who have strong opinions about the Black Timer. Okay, I think you're actually right. Yeah, they're gonna barely meet. They actually also both did a really cool thing. So Super Metroid works in very strange ways, and there's these things called sound cues, and you can clear them and save time in door transitions. And the amphitheater is one of those places where laying a power bomb does some funny stuff to save time. Shout outs to the taskers who figure out all that stuff. But
high five complete. Beefy's still looking for more supers, it looks like. Again, Beefy's on an ammo hunt. He's not in go mode yet. 60-30 is not enough.
No,
but again, he'll find his charge beam. He just needs to get the crate.
After last weekend and me saying that so confidently for several minutes just to be wrong, I'm gonna shy away from declaring things so definitively. It's there for him. Whether or not he finds it is up to him. And again,
you will find charge beam and you will like it.
Because it is for sure the last boss area that he's going to be doing at this point. He's going to be in. He's probably going to have enough ammo by the time he would get there anyway. Just because if you are planning to do Kraid and then Turian right away, you don't want to still be looking for miners. So
correct.
We're plasma shooting Ridley. Why the heck not?
Absolutely. I mean, why not find charge beam? But anyway, MM2 showing off the charge plasma power bomb there. I mean, you've all heard of X Factors if you've watched speedrunning. That's the charge wave beam special by using a power bomb. The charge plasma, what you just saw, was 4 discs going around in a circle and attacking. Unfortunately, none of them connected. MM2 did fire it too early, but this is going to be a full, what is this, a 40-shot Ridley fight, you said?
I think he had 2 supers coming in, so that'll take off
a couple.
1,200 damage, which is slightly less than 3 charge shots. Comfy fight again. We got both suits. We got screw attack. We got plenty of energy. And being a veteran speedrunner at this point, actually going to know how to work charge beam Ridley. This is a fight that I just kind of jump around and shoot and act like I'm fighting with supers, which is definitely not the optimal way to do things. So MM2 nicely done. And having found that plasma beam, he has subsequently skipped every major that he possibly could. There are options to be looking at a few other things. Another super here found for Beefy, plus I guess, well, he was at 60-30, so he found another super maybe at the meme route. So we are getting into a good place. This is probably the most infrequently checked item in Randomizer, especially
Ream Soupers
SM Solo, but I guess that should specifically say dash. In Map Rando, this is a lot easier to check because you can just go in from the top. And it is rewarded with another super. So like I said, he's not going to find the charge beam because he's probably just not going to look there. He will have enough, especially because he's about to go into East Meridia. There are several things that he could.
Beefy just charged up a suit by using an X-ray glitch on the spikes. Beefy now just having fun. I love it.
Shoutouts to X Mode, and also shoutouts to I Only Know How to Super Jump, a team name from Randomizer League Season 4, which Beefy was a part of. He did anyone to do so. Welcome back after a brief intermission and a little bit of stream hiccups. We are back for game 2 of this best of 3 series between mm2nescartridge and BFrobber, aka mm2 and Beefy. mm2 did take down the first race, finished with a very low 52. Pretty comfy ending there for him, as we saw where he was in Lore Warfare. Just had to finish things out and make it to Turian, so we'll see how this second race goes. As mentioned, I am joined at this time by Sloters. How you doing?
Hello, DJ. I am doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hopefully, we'll be able to have another exciting race with slightly fewer, hiccups as far as our technology goes. Also, this sound that I was looking for, and now we'll definitely be able to have some good things here going. M2 needing one more win here to secure a series victory and advance to the second round, where Beefy's definitely going to be looking to tie things up here. We were chatting a little bit about it. I was a little bit shocked actually to find out there in the race time chat, Beefy was not comfortable with that double spring ball jump. That definitely was part of the advantage that MM2 gained, being able to clear out Craig's lair at that time, especially with the charge beam being that major reward. So
yeah, that trick, it's not super common to pop up, but in situations like that and getting out of Dragon's lair, it definitely has some really useful utility in some of these seeds. So hopefully we won't see it again, so maybe Beefy doesn't get stopped by that, but we'll see where the seed takes us.
yeah. As someone who is still pretty newer to the scene, I actually think that is pretty true for most of the advanced tech that you'll see, people pull out. Like, everything basically has a use. How useful it is extremely seed dependent, and sometimes it's really game breaking, and sometimes it's, pretty good. Sometimes it can be a wash. It really just kind of depends. But yeah, especially, routing efficiency wise, those are the kinds of things where things like being able to get out of boss areas, or that double spring ball jump there in crab hole, its power can be extremely amplified in very specific situations. So it's the kind of stuff, when you're competing at an extremely high level with this randomizer. Obviously M2, like we said, third seed here overall in the tournament. He did keep his seed from the pre-rankings, as well as champion last year in the big tournament we had with Mystery, as well as an unfortunate situation caused him to be runner-up in the other tournament he participated in, but extremely good. And you gotta sometimes you gotta pull out all the stops to be able to contend with people this good.
That's true. Well, so far, not a whole lot. We got a E-Tank, not super exciting, but we did get a early power bomb pack, so we can check this blue Brinstar portal, and maybe we can follow it depending what it is. We'll find out in a second here.
We definitely have a different start here. We had a very early item with the speed booster there in the first seed. And this time we get a very different level of intrigue here. This is one of the most awkward, if not the most awkward crate locations in the game. Basically, if Beefy can kill this boss, you almost just win. It's risky. So the worst part about this is because we only have power bombs here, the only way to actually come in here and get back out is with power bomb drops, and because it's a wrong way door, you can't do a little RNG manipulation that was found by some runners. We did get an extra power bomb pack though, so we are able to get out without being super slow. I know there was some talk previously in the tournament a couple years ago where some people said you can kind of just check this and then do a full reset if it's not a killable boss. But with that extra powerbomb pack again, we are able to get back out of here. We don't have supers, but that doesn't make another boss killable here. So that's not the craziest thing that could happen here. M2 did find our first supers here at the old Mother Brain, so we're going to be getting supers very early for both of our runners regardless. But again, if this is a killable boss, Beefy would have been in great position. Yeah. And that knowledge is so variably useful. Like, I think Dragon's the worst outcome for not knowing what the boss is, because more than likely when you come back here, it's not going to be for a while, almost certainly, and you're probably going to hope, like, you definitely want to be able to kill at least 3 bosses when you come back here, having not checked it, and Ridley's, in theory, easier to get to a point where you can kill. Just kind of depends on basically how well the gravity suit is, and how friendly the supers are, which was something we saw last seed not being the case. But yeah, I don't mind either of these plays as far as checking the boss versus not. I lean more towards not doing it myself, just because, as you can see, like, Beefy's like 2 minutes behind where mm2 is now, and all he knows is that it's Ridley. And like, the power of that is, again, if you come back without the ability to kill Ridley, you're in Omega shambles. But also, of course, Ridley not being in Lore Warfare does have some knowledge value. We'll see just how much that is here as the seed progresses.
Yep, so with MM2 getting a head start on checking the rest of these portals, first we're going to see Terminator, just another E-Tank, and then we're going to get 2 more portals up here on the left side of Criteria. So hopefully that leads to something. If not, we also have the 2 on the right side that are now accessible. So we will find out. This first portal is going to take us to Red Tower at the tube, and it looks like MM2 is at least going to grab Spacer item, probably. I would assume he's going to check that other Criteria portal along with these other Red Tower portals, but we'll see how he decides to route this.
Yeah, specifically tube is a little bit funky to find there. You have a lot of options. Like, you have the option to not go down at all, obviously, and then you can go to the left, find that door, and then, you know, probably come back because Red Tower is the exploration place. So that's an option. You can obviously do what MM2 is doing. You know, you want to get the spacer item, we get the much more powerful plasma beam as opposed to its vanilla beam that it could have been there. And then, you know, you can check these doors, potentially just go back out the tube and then look over at Criteria. There's a lot of different options of how you can handle this, and none of them are necessarily right or wrong, I would say. But we already found Turian in the seed. So 2 of our 3 dead ends are located. And that is the awkward outcome. I think I would just go. Honestly, it kind of sucks, but I would just go.
Yeah, kind of a golden rule, at least for a lot of people, is you really don't want to leave a single portal behind. Leaving 2 portals behind can be okay, because then, you know, you kind of have 2 possibilities to get back there if one of them is a one-way. So it's kind of important that you try not to leave portals behind. Sometimes when you run into like a green Brinstar like that, you might just want to chase it and gamble that it's not an important portal, or you'll just come back there later. But yeah, MM2 is not going to leave that portal behind and get that knowledge, so that's good.
Yeah, and obviously, like I was saying, you know, not any one decision was, you know, always going to work out. Obviously, you know, having seen the outcome, you would have been much better off just going left immediately and not having to do, you know, both the tube jump. Having the tube unbroken does have some value potentially in, you know, different circumstances. But you know, we were always going to be going through Green Bryn here. M2, like we said, just did not want to not know what that left side Criteria portal here. And Beefy, having gotten that extra power bomb there from Kraid's Lair, is going to put that to his advantage here and check out the Gauntlet Major plus the 2 miners in the back. And that is a reward. That is a reward.
It most certainly is.
Yeah, once again, Hydro Boots, both in Criteria and for one of our runners, found very early here in the seed. MM2 is getting into our Green Brinstar locations. We don't have nearly as early as a speed booster, so there is a potential to be leaving a portal behind. But this map's already shaping up to be pretty interesting, with both front of East Meridia and Kraid's Lair here in Criteria, plus the Turian being very close there with that red Brinstar. Is that 2 supers back here?
I believe it was.
Oh no, just a super missile, but still decent early ammo advantage here for Beefy again. Positionally, he's going to be lagging behind by quite a bit. All he has, you know, to his name and as an advantage is Ridley knowledge. You know, the potentials for that, obviously, he knows that Lower Norfair doesn't have Ridley, so if we get into a potentially suitless, you know, play, that will be a little bit of advantage. It also makes the wreck ship boss a lot more appetizing for him to check, because it's 2 out of 3 to be able to kill that boss, where for him to, having not knowing the Kraid boss, it's slightly less than 50% odds. So that matters a little bit. Yeah. If you're going to do this in what ends up being the faster way, seeing East Meridia before going down. We'll see if he elects to check Spazer first. I am very much of the opinion that if you come into Red Tower from Tube specifically, you should just go left, but people do not all feel that way. So, just a couple of tanks thus far here in Greenburn Star. We'll see if we get any you know, big items as far as progression, or if we just end up, you know, having plenty of energy, and you know, maybe Upper Norfair finds its way to us. Beefy also making the same play. Gonna be rewarded with the plasma beam. We'll see if charge beam comes our way at an early point, and we can fully utilize that plasma beam utility. As far as, you know, it's great always just because you can kill most enemies in very short order, as well as, you know, in other places where you don't necessarily kill the enemies, you can hitbox through them. But yeah, again, ammo advantage, high jump advantage for Beefy, which I mean, high jump can be required in a seed, like, you know, no holds barred. So see how much these things matter. All mm2 shows us the very energy plentiful Green Brinstar. So, one more major here to check. If it's not Speed Booster, we're not going to be seeing the Waterway major anytime soon. Then we'll have 2 portals down here to check at the Green Hill Zone and the New Bridge. As 4 out of 4 tanks. One of them was a reserve, which isn't, you know, the first reserve is you know, fine and dandy with most people. It's after that that things start getting a little like, I would rather have an energy tank.
Yeah, the first reserve is really nice for some of the bosses like Ridley and Dragon, but then after that they just, you know, they're kind of just bad E-tanks, so not super great, but sometimes welcome depending on the seed.
And there is some potential high jump value. The back-a-wreck ship here at the middle of Green Brinstar. mm2 does not have a good way to do that at all, so depending on this portal, we could start seeing, you know, that coming into handy here for Beefy if he so desires. And again, because he knows about Ridley, that boss is much more likely from his perspective to be killable. So, especially, I mean, if this is like Lower Norfair or, you know, other unappetizing portals, could have seen a, you know, a long backtrack for mm2 where Beefy could have potentially split off and done that wreck ship. And, you know, still potential for that to happen. We did get the top of West Meridia, so we can fall down. But again, more high jump value. Beefy can check Mama Turtle and, you know, get out with the item.
Yeah, MM2 certainly could check it, but no guarantee he'd be able to get out. So, as expected, he's going to skip that, but Beefy might be a little bit more tempted.
So definitely some interesting things that could happen here as we find the croc door here at Main Street for MM2. This is another awkward situation that honestly, I've been burned by not checking the crab hole, and I'm still not sure exactly how I'll play it. Specifically here, you know, people were talking about it. We do already know both Kraid and Turian, so leaving exactly one portal behind isn't as bad as it can be in certain other scenarios. But yeah, he just says, you give me croc door, I'm gonna say, hey, let's go. We've got plenty of energy here to get these Bubble Mountain checks done. I think he really wants this. Does he want this power bomb, or was he just making sure that the reserve was full? Potentially a little bit of both. Again, still big moments coming up here if Beefy does end up checking that Mama Turtle, which I don't know why you wouldn't. So
Yeah, there might not be a more convenient time. Maybe if you come back through later with like gravity or something. But if you're falling down there and you have a way out of there, I don't see why not.
I will also note that I've been talking about, high jump lets you get out of the room. While you're in the room, the only way currently to actually collect that item is a bomb boost, basically, which you are able to do with power bombs. It is not easy. I learned how to do it once, and then I forgot, and I've never done it again. So, it could just be a knowledge thing, but frankly, I mean, the knowledge could be pretty good. And I guess it was actually a pretty famous race where both Beefy and Eddie were trying that trick, and Beefy had some issues. I don't think he ended up actually getting it, but I do expect that he knows how to do that if it is a good item. Yeah. We did also see... Oh, he somehow jumped off of that barely too early to not actually collect the super, but yeah. M2 is very much a believer in just hypo jumping there. Routing efficiency-wise, doing Norfair Reserve first is definitely best. So, I understand it from that perspective. I just... Hypo jumps are silly. And yeah, Glove, that is what I was talking about, the Mama Turtle bomb bounce. So, another reserve tank, again, now that we're past the first one and we're in Upper Norfair where, energy tanks refill your energy and reserve tanks don't. A lot worse of an outcome to be getting a reserve specifically around here, but this is our current lot in life, and M2 is definitely accepting that right here. So I am very curious to see how this goes. And again, because of the knowledge as far as Ridley, you could see Beefy. I mean, he's gonna save here for sure. He could check Mama Turtle, he could check the portals, and he could still turn around and end up doing wreck ship. Which again, it's just I don't mind that play at all. I don't know what I would do from here, frankly. He's not checking?
Yeah. A little surprised, but I get it. It's not the fastest check in the world, but again, I don't know when else you're going to come here unless you already have gravity. But
and again, the ability to actually get that item is a little bit of a question there. So there could be, if I can't get the item, might as well not check it, which I would respect. I would definitely like to know for sure.
I will agree with Glove in chat that the power bomb jump there is actually not terribly hard to do if you practice it, but I get it. It's especially when you have limited attempts with power bombs, it might not be the easiest thing to do.
We did get a vanilla item here in Bubble Mountain. Actually, I guess that's 2 for 2 on the vanilla items, with the reserve being reserve and speed being speed. Can we make it 3 for 3? That would be really funny. But yeah, big item, the speed booster, obviously. You're never going to be upset about finding it. And Beefy did go through with that crab hole check and found the top of Red Brinstar, so we're also going to get to check this item, or this portal here at the elevator. Into doing some face wall jumps. Those are a little bit tricky just because hitboxes, obviously.
Oh,
and
nice self-connect.
Nice self-connect indeed. Going up the elevator just to go down in Red Brinstar. One of those funny quirks. We did not get 3 for 3 vanilla. We got an E-Tank. So yeah, really curious. Looks like Beefy does also just want to come in here into Bubble Mountain. So looks like Upper Norfair kind of has the keys to a lot of the rest of the seat as far as the map goes. Again, you'd rather go from the front of the wreck ship than the back, but we did have the option there with high jump on Beefy's side. And we're going to be seeing, probably we're going to be finding basically the rest of the map here connected to Upper Norfair. Shoutouts to Speed No High Jump. It really sucks, and it'll make you die on this hell run. But M2 has a crystal flash, so he's fine. And there's that West Meridia information closed out for us. Again, M2 doesn't even know where the map station goes yet. And then... And the Chronic Bruise portal is so awkward when you don't have Varia. And you're in like these kind of situations where like you're going to save, you probably do want to do it. Is he just going to go without saving? The answer is yes, but not to the portal. He's just going to Bowman, or Business Center. So, 2 more items over here on the left side. And again, almost at like, there's a lot of awkward things right here that are going on between our runners. Obviously, you know, M2 doesn't know, but whenever he so decides to go back to Kraid's Lair, with his current equipment set, he does have the ability to kill Ridley for sure. He would, obviously, being at Crane Tier, you're going to ship refill and be totally fine. Finds a nice double jump there, and Beefy shows off the non-hypo jump wall jump. Those reserves were pretty full, so this is definitely enough energy to get to the Ice Beam check. He is only on 11 power bombs, so that is enough for a crystal flash, and then you'd be out. Again, we're still in a very interesting position where, you know, we don't know the whole map. We don't know how much high jump matters. We don't know when M2 will even decide to go back for Kraid's Lair, especially because it's really interesting because, you know, Ridley not being vanilla kind of gives you the ability to not necessarily need the Various suit, but like you could go back to Kraid at any time, and you know, gravity obviously can be there, and that will be a pretty nice reward. So there's a lot of funny decisions that are possible.
Or gravity can be there.
Yes. All you have to do is talk about gravity and it'll just appear in front of you. So
That's true.
Pretty decent outcome here for him too. Gotta be a little bit quick here on this escape, but 91 for just this room is enough. I don't think you can do the iceless escape, as I'm about to be proven wrong. He missed it though. And he is going to take that opportunity to Crystal Flash. I think you go down and farm Peeves, honestly. Yeah, he agrees.
Yeah, that could be bad, but he does grab at least 1 Peeb, so he's good.
And of course, we're now in a position where if these upper portals are bad, we do have the speed booster, so you could just go to Frog Speedway and farm the power bombs up that way. But yeah, having 1 for sure is nice, depending on where we end up here. Yeah, gravity obviously a really big find. It's going to be really interesting to see just how things shape out from here, just because, again, we know, well, number 1, we know that this boss is killable 100%. We also know that exactly 1 power bomb isn't super great here. I guess you do have speed, so you don't need it on the way in. You only need it on the way out, which is pretty nice. But spooky, a little bit spooky to check with only having the 1 power bomb. But surely you get a power bomb drop from the boss, which, again, not knowing it's really M2 is going to have to save here, but he'll be fine regardless of what happens with this boss outcome. But yeah, as of now, you know, we do have confirmation now that number 1, that high jump boots that Beefy has, not required for suitless, just going to be better movement here for him. M2, I would say 99.99% chance he does not collect those high jump boots. I'm only saying that because everything I've ever been certain about on commentary has somehow found a way to still be wrong, so that's always fun.
And Vanilla Phantoon.
Yep, so that probably is making M2 feel really good about not doing the Kraid check, because he knows just how unlikely that is to be specifically Kraid. Of course it is not Kraid, as we know. So the only unfortunate thing about here is that Phaetun is the one boss that does not come with an item room attached, so we got one fewer item than we were probably expecting here in the wreck ship, but that's all good. We got a killable boss here. We're probably not looking to be doing a ton from this position, just because, we do have that portal over there on the right side of Upper Norfair Business Center, plus having the gravity suit, and a pretty decent loadout already. After these first early few checks, you probably aren't super interested. Oh yeah, that was very nicely done. That was another opportunity for Beefy to potentially check that Mama Turtle item. With high jump and speed, you do have a pretty easy way to get up there as long as you know how to do that jump. But considering you know where the portals go and you kind of want to get to Business Center from here, a lot less appetizing. Knowing where Gravity Suit is, probably a good thing to not be doing that. I think it basically has to be Varia for Beefy doing it exactly there to be like the right and or good decision. That is possible, of course. No reason it's not Varia. Ooh, Clutch there getting that. I think he wants to do the refill down here at Nutella to be able to have a much more energy for Business Center. Looks like our first item here was an E-Tank. Got another super missile here, so that's nice. Ooh, are we short charging here to get to Chronic?
Yeah. Yep, looks like he's gonna spark across, check Chronic. That one looked good. Just needs good timing. Yep, gets it. Take one more energy refill, and he will spark across.
So, the awkward thing about this is obviously getting across there is fine. If this isn't a portal you want to follow, getting back is a lot less fine. And of course, us knowing both Gravity Suit is over there as well as the front of a wreck ship makes it a little bit unfortunate for BP to not be going there. But of course, we could just get loot back around there if this crab door does go to Crade Mouth. But actually, that's not possible. I lied. This is either Croc or Lower Norfair, and it's the latter. So, unless Crade Mouth is Croc, we do have a little one-way there to Croc at one of these boss portals, which is unfortunate because we found specifically the front of Lower Norfair. If the back there is Croc, Varia Suit is quite a bit more valuable. I know that people have been talking about how different things are as far as, the ability to do that reverse acid dive on gravity only. In this randomizer with gravity actually providing some environmental damage reduction, it is significantly easier than it used to be, both from a living perspective as well as an energy perspective as a whole. Really don't need a ton, depending on your item set. But yeah, I do actually like this from Beefy here. Like I said, with this equipment set, really is pretty comfy for, a lot of people. So I don't expect he has any issues with this. And of course, there is an energy refill in the Crate's lair, which is faster than the ship refill. So I do agree with doing it there instead of taking the long ship refill. And it is Croc at the right side of Business Center. So back of East Meridia leads to the back of Lower Norfair, which is a little bit awkward, but it's not the worst thing that could have happened, for sure. There's not going to be a suit here for Beefy, though. Does he want to save? There's Grapple. If you're going to skip Varia, that's a nice little farm apparatus there in Lower Norfair.
Mm-hmm. And
do not-
MM2 backing out after the first item check. It's a move. Got some value out of it, I suppose.
Yeah, grapple isn't a bad pickup. Obviously, it's not the greatest thing we could have ever found, but you know, like I said, got some value. I'm wondering how much he is thinking about. Well, see, I think you just do East Meridia before you do Kraid's lair in this scenario. But pathing wise, that is a little worse. Oh goodness. He did not save either at the ship or in Kraid's lair. That's not good.
Yeah, that is from a bit ago.
That is pre-Bubble Mountain items. So, no speed booster anymore. SM2 is also doing the spark. Very fun times when... Oh, he had it, just didn't press down. That sucks. But he's got grapple, so... He's gonna take the energy refill and run with it. Yeah, very unfortunate. I was not about to mention the other unfortunate incident that happened with the runner yesterday not saving before the Kraid's lair boss. Hoping to not do a 5 minutes in the future commentator curse, but didn't matter. And yeah, unfortunate there for Beefy. Does look like he has entered a forfeit in the race room. And yeah, you know, people were talking about this yesterday, obviously, with the series between my co-commentator Sodas and Zeb. Like, strictly speaking, it is not the quote-unquote correct thing to do to forfeit here, but it's also really understandable because, I mean, that was at least 10 minutes ago that he did this save, and you're facing a really talented opponent who you don't expect will also lose 10 minutes. So, yeah. Unfortunate here, but M2 was already here in a pretty commanding position. And just, you know, having collected that gravity suit, you know, kill the boss there in the wreck ship. Again, I'm interested to see if he does just go ahead and do Kraid here. Again, it's not a bad play at all. You know, pretty. I mean, it's not, you know, super likely to be Ridley, and even if it is, you can definitely kill it. And pathing wise, it's just definitely the most convenient opportunity you're gonna have. So.
Yep. And to answer the question in chat, you can see when a runner forfeits in the race time room. Whether or not they check that is kind of up to the runner. But MM2 definitely saw as he responded in the race time room, so he knows from here on out he can play it really safe, and there's not really any real chance of him losing. So we might see him take some saves and grab some extra items depending on how comfortable he is, but yeah, he just kind of has to play his game from here and just give us a little show for the rest of the race.
MM2 is a chronically online zoomer, so the fact that he saw that is not surprising.
So true. So very true.
But yeah. I mean, different people handle things differently. You know, we were actually talking, we weren't sure if you even knew for a while about Zeb's forfeit yesterday. I definitely, like, I look at the race room, like, obviously at the beginning when you're looking at stuff, and then, like, I don't usually pull it up again until I'm in go mode. Or, like, you know, in Turian at the very least sometimes, so you really don't necessarily know with some people, but M2 just has to, like we said, finish out this seed. We've got Ridley here that I'm just not going to say anything about that. We have Ridley here, and M2 is about to fight the Space Pelican.
Yeah, he's got one extra E-tank and I think one extra, they might have the same amount of reserves, but also has that gravity, so that reduces some of the possible damage he could take from Ridley hits. So a bit comfier of a fight, and yeah, already taking a hit, getting grabbed there, but he should still be okay. He's getting his supers off pretty quick.
He also doesn't have high jump, so it is a little bit, it's a little different. You have to handle things differently, especially as far as manipulations. But yeah, as you can see, that was the second hit he took, and he's totally fine here as long as he gets grabbed pretty quickly.
Yeah, will not be in health bomb range. So we'll get some drops back.
And an energy tank for the road.
Always
various
such a
will be
relief.
here.
Grabbing an E-tank after a no area Ridley. Not as stressful when you know, not in lower North Fair, but still, it's nice.
And of course, a little unfortunate that the reserves did pop. With a clean fight, he definitely wouldn't have needed to dip into those. So, especially with 2 reserves, it's a little bit potentially awkward to get everything refilled. But again, we're going to East Meridian next, so definitely plenty of opportunities to farm there. And we'll see if our health is even of any consequence here on this seed. As Charge Beam is in the exact same spot.
It's charge again.
And we've got Wave Plasma this time, so we're even more powerful than mm2 was last seed with just that Plasma Beam.
Yeah, so he's pretty kind of on. That's probably considered go mode for him, knowing that Ridley's not in lower North Fair. Being at 8+2 and pretty good Crystal Flash resources, so he's pretty set.
Yeah, I mean, if Varia's at Varia's at bot screen, obviously you're just gonna get it. I think like not checking the boss, which we know is Creator Dragon, is kind of silly, especially because I do think mm2 should know that back of East is back of lower North Fair, which is where you're going anyway. So I mean, frankly, like Plasma is not even a terrible check from there. If you're, it could be Varia for sure. And he is going to refill those reserves, which I don't dislike this play at all. You definitely don't have to, but no harm. Like, especially like we said, he knows that the race is already over. He just has to finish.
Shoutouts to the Kirby ship, by the way.
Everyone can flex their muscles in chat. I was also very worried that we were about to get 0.1%ed about the thing I said about high jump. But for some reason, he's going to the right. And unless he, like, if he mismarked this as back of East, I could understand this. But doing this from the front doesn't... Yeah, I think he...
I think his tracker has it as the back, so I think he has that marked wrong. But I think he's just like, well, I'm here, so...
Yeah, a little bit awkward. Can you actually... I was about to say, with gravity, I don't even know if you can get up there. Yeah, this is not great. You are correct. I forgot that his tracker is there in the little face cam bubble. Shoutouts to Gestro for putting that up there for people who do have visible trackers. Yeah, specifically failing that gravity jump is actually really, really bad for that. I will say, pathing-wise, this is debatably better. It's just that it's so much harder to do lower North Fair from the front. Especially because, well, he has double jump. I was thinking he had to hypo jump, and then I really had lots of questions. But he does not have to hypo jump suitless.
Yeah, I do like this pathing a lot. Obviously we like coming from the back, but when you see, not that he really saw this because his tracker was wrong, but when there's an opportunity like this to do it like front to back and do it a little more quickly, if you can pull it off, it is pretty slick.
I think he should... Okay, yeah, he knew that he had enough energy to make it there without popping any of his reserves, which is definitely what you want to do. It's going to feel a little silly if it's specifically a E-tank here, but of course, you do want to keep your reserves, so you're not, like... It's silly, but you're fine with it. Yeah. I'm about to see a little double jump propaganda machine here. With only speed booster, it definitely is going to be really helpful here in this lower North Fair. So, as long as he manages ammo well here, he'll definitely have the ability to be fine. And then just needs to, execute well. Whatever boss is here is going to have an item behind it, and if it's Crate, it's super easy, and if it's Dragon, You do want to be a little careful about what resources you're using as far as your health or your ammo. We do have the grapple, obviously, so not going to take a ton of resources to kill the Dragon, if it is in fact Dragon. And then do have plenty of PB farms here with the Fire Flea. Very nice wall jump morph over that pirate. That's always scary to me, especially suitless.
Yeah, unfortunately, worst room, not the quickest room with this loadout, although the charge plasma wave does help out a lot. So he should be able... maybe he might lose his reserve, yeah. Or at least some of it. No, he's going to do all of it.
That is... I would have definitely done like 40 of that energy and tried to just make it to Fire Flea, hope for an E-tank and keep some of it, but again... He's definitely done this kind of play many more times than I have. I think I've successfully done a front-to-back suitless probably twice ever. And yeah. Keeping the reserves definitely would have been nice, but again, I mean, you have 10 tanks now, so like, how much does it really matter? The answer is not a ton. More double jump use in the dark.
10 plus 2, heading down to the boss now. We'll have 2 crystal flashes to get there and back, maybe even another E-tank at the bottom, so this is pretty okay.
He did not fully hitbox that and actually did take a hit from my key, so a little unfortunate there. Very nice. I always find hitboxing, specifically those Diskegas, to be a little bit awkward, so I'm impressed by that. Not taking any unnecessary hits in that room. Yeah. Chat was also pointing out that I was talking about resource management on a potential Dragon, as if they don't have microwave beam, which they definitely do.
Yeah, MM2 getting a little caught up in the Ninja Pirates room. He's just gonna hang back and do this Crystal Flash here, which is totally fair because he is well aware that BP is forfeited, so no reason to go crazy and just die.
You can definitely get very overzealous in a lot of places here in Lower Norfair. I've definitely fallen victim to that, where it's like, I'm fine to just make it to this next place, and then you get there, and like, number one, to Crystal Flash, you have to be stopped. Like, you cannot lay the power bomb before you hit the ground. There's a lot of, there's a lot of silly ways to make mistakes with regards to those kind of things, so you definitely do just want to play it safe when you have the opportunity to. And yeah, we even get to see the silliness of my talking, forgetting about the very powerful tool that is the microwave. Showing off a little bit of those GT classic strats with the immediate diagonal shot and then the vertical shot there to be as centered in the room as possible on the kill.
And he gets the spike suit.
I think you just popped that right through the door.
Look at that.
Another
just
tank.
All E-tanks down here. Incredible. Or you can do that too. That also works.
This is one of the most awkward rooms to build momentum up in and actually go fast in. It looks like he wanted to do some farming anyway, so it's not terrible to have not done that spark through that room, but definitely could have been nice. Also, I do like the attempted damage boost in that room to get through things pretty quickly.
I was gonna say he could probably make it out without a Crystal Flash, but it seems, he's not really concerned about conserving energy, so might need one anyways, but he can do 2 if he really wants, so it's fine.
Oh.
Or he won't do 2 because he didn't get that speedball, but doesn't need to anyways.
Yeah. Without bombs or spring ball or screw attack, the only power bombs he could have saved were there in the.
Oh yeah,
that's
he's doing
Wasteland,
it.
right?
I was hoping he would do this.
Had a little bit of trouble there, but got it eventually. Yep, a nice little comfy safety save here. I think he knows the manip in this room. We'll see if he elects to do it.
Shout out to this key hunter. Oh yeah, not even gonna bother. Just power through it.
Yeah, because you can hitbox the later ones, you don't really need to do it. And again, he was crystal flashing regardless, so not even the worst thing to have more energy. I would have crystal flashed in the next room, but.
Gonna be honest, I don't know the geometry of this space very well, so
he's
I wouldn't
going
have
out
there.
the front.
That's a move. That's definitely a move.
Okay, I feel like he should know that the back is the back. Like he doesn't have it marked, but he doesn't know the top of Red Tower yet.
He's actually missing.
Know that.
Yeah, he's missing a lot of portal knowledge. He should know it's not a one-way, but. I'm just gonna say this is, purely R&D, just seeing if you can make this work, just for the love of the game. But it is probably fine. I don't know. It's kind of sketchy.
The elevator takes way more energy than you really think it does. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I was here one time and I had already emptied my reserves. Like I think his reserves are gonna pop when he gets to the top, or if not, they're gonna be close. And like this room is not free. Yeah, see that was 140 energy.
Fine. Maybe if he takes off speed, that could help a little.
I definitely agree that you take off speed here. Did he? Doesn't look like it.
It's fine.
He is pseudo screwing, so he's not going to take damage from the flames. And yeah, he is totally fine now. Has a ship refill in his future. Okay, so not knowing about the East Meridia Lore and Warfare, it definitely makes sense, especially because he thought it was the back based on Elvis' track for him to do that, and now seeing his map and how little he knows. Although, well, see, here's the other thing: if he knew it was the front, I actually don't think he does that, and then I think it ends up worse for him because he probably doesn't check back because it's more likely to be in Red Tower. Although maybe you just try to because Red Tower's at the front. Yeah, I don't know. Funny situation there with not knowing things because of somehow not having seen the top of Red Tower, mostly because it links to itself.
Yeah, going this way is actually not bad. It's fine.
Yeah. That was a short charge.
Yeah, I was like, what's the play here? Oh, okay, gonna do that.
East Meridia is right over here to the left, and then to the right is a door that takes you a hop, skip, and not even a hop, skip, and a jump, just a hop and a skip from Turian. So, I think he's close to a sub-hour with this one, I think. It's also going to be really funny when Various stares him in the face at Box Wound and he doesn't pick it up. Because he won't, by the way. Like, he straight up won't.
I mean, it's a straight time loss. Why would you?
Indeed. He jumped over that final speed block. That's really funny. I've never seen that. Doesn't have any use. It's just kind of funny. Alrighty. Time for us all to laugh at the fact that Varia was just right here for us. Oh, it wasn't.
Yep, an E-tank, just like you said.
E-tank, Varia suit, what's the difference?
Ooh, getting some grapple strats. maybe exactly one grapple strat.
I'm always unsure of exactly how useful grapple is in this room with like every item set. Because like if you're spin jumping, you would probably be better off continuing to spin jump. But if you're deboosting, you can have uses, and then like you got double jump, and that throws a wrench into things. So we're not going to see Variasuit. It could be Vanilla right here behind Kraid, which would be kind of funny. Otherwise, we're looking at Sand Pit, Shack Tool, Plasma, Mama Turtle, Top of Ship, Grapple, Motorway. I think that's all of those locations. Which is why M2 didn't care to find it. Because a lot of those places you really don't care to go to. Aw. So, all we gotta do is go out the front. Quick little criteria cross, quick little red tower trip. And then we'll be in Eternium. Without high jump or ice, I think tough as far as the sub hour. But
I think
he'll
he's
be
gonna
close.
barely miss it. But yeah, it'll still be relatively quick with everything else.
Yeah, in first seed where both you didn't find Varia, did Lower Norfair front to front, and you had to double all the way back to meme route for Kraid Slayer, that's a pretty good time still.
For real.
A lot of things working against you time-wise. But the strange level of exploration in this seed led to the things that we have in front of us. I think M2 knows how to do the little Rinka powerbomb strat thingies or whatever. Something I still need to learn.
Same.
I will also note, the first time I had to do specifically Variolus Turian with powerbomb strats, I learned just how much damage you can take doing this if you're not careful. Like, the Metroids and the Acid do a lot of damage very quickly to you. Yeah, these Metroids do tend to latch onto you when you're doing powerbomb strats because you're not really trying to avoid it, but I mean, we have so much energy that it really doesn't matter, but you do need to be mindful of what's going on with your energy in this situation. But because we're not, we're not Zeb skip, or we're not baby skipping, so we're going to be energy refilling regardless. You just need to make sure you survive the Metroid rooms themselves. Quickest way to damage down on the side hopper here. Charge your beam, do some pseudo screws jumping into it. There's this weird quirk where if you pseudo screw into the middle of the enemy, it like takes your pseudo screw, where if you don't and you're just on the edges, then you're fine to just like keep doing it. I have no idea why that is. I just know that it is, and it's annoying. And screw attack is objectively better. Funnily enough, I think the optimal thing to do here is actually to Crystal Flash in the interim between Mother Brain 1 and 2. But that's like, number one, really risky and also just kind of silly to do. Just because you do have to take a decent amount of damage. We do have two reserves here. But with this strong enough beam, it does save those door transitions and the energy refill plus the little cutscene that pops up. So If you were trying to save frames, you could think of
Yeah,
that.
it's definitely a sweaty thing to do.
Oh! After all the brilliant short charging into it shown off, he actually missed this speeds up skip the first time. This one looks much better. I jinxed it again. He doesn't even need to do this, but again, given that you know what's going on race-wise, like, be stubborn. You might as well. Good practice. Alright, since we have time to kill and fun things to talk about, he did 9 and 9, which I was told is not the best way to do Mother Brain 1. And I've also seen you do 9 and 9 Sloters. Do you have opinions or facts or anything about that?
I'm pretty sure 9 and 9 is best, but I'm open to suggestions if it's not.
Basically what I was told is that because it's exactly 18 shots, after the final super, you still have to wait for the glass to break. But again, that may or may not, like, it wasn't like, you know, Snick tested out and told me. It was just something that a fellow runner said, and I've gone with it. I do 15 and 7 if I have 15 and 7 to do, but there's a lot of equivalences. And yeah, specifically 9 and 9 because it's only 18 shots, and that's how many the glass takes to break. Apparently,
Yeah.
there isn't a consensus.
Yeah, there's some divergent thoughts in chat. Not entirely clear.
This is the best thing about 31-year-old games. We still don't know things.
I think Glove has been bought out by Big Missile. Not to be confused with Super Missile.
MM2 does make a compelling argument. The argument is Zinni. But Hundo's weird, especially RTA, because how many supers you have is extremely variable at that time. Also, speaking of optimal, we do have a stand-up here. No various suit, so it's easy to have the correct damage. And then, of course, if you know how to do stand-up, you should do it. You just do have to know how. And some of us are filthy, disgusting rando mains who don't play vanilla and haven't had any true need for these kind of things. Shoutouts to my boy Nitro. He and I are the last holdouts against saving time.
Alright, MM2 cruised through that Mother Brain 3 with that stand-up and is definitely going to get sub-hour.
Yeah, we were way off about those estimates.
I just like have no idea ever about that.
It is such a vibe. Like, how long do I think this is going to take? And then you just kind of go with it. The nature of area rando. Speed, no high jump escape. So, just gotta be smart. It's really just Leodox that's awkward. Even though obviously Parlo's a little bit weird, but you just don't hold run and you do what you do at the beginning of the game and it's fine. And we do have double jumps, so let's see how we handle this. So far so good, very clean. I appreciate how the different numbers that you're counting to is being described as using or not using your brain in chat. These are the distinctions we need to be making. Wow, we're actually going there. Shoutouts to Metroid Fusion.
Oh, wait, hold. Oh,
Oh, almost got the boomerang. So MM2 is going to finish this one out here. A 2-0 series victory. This one with a official race time of 59 minutes and 26 seconds. So GG's to
GG.
him. He's going to be our second person advancing into the second round. He will face the winner of Farfalu and Ace Zero, which takes place on Sunday. So very nicely done to him. And again, good job to Beefy here in this tournament. Getting that second place finish in the group, and also, like we said, taking that game off of Derp. Very impressive. Like we said, a good player. Some unfortunate things that happened to him in this seed, with the unfortunate Ridley death. And M2 isn't even going to join us. Tisk tisk. Alright, so everybody in chat who isn't MM2, put your guesses in. Where is the various suits? I'm going to go for... See, I want to say vanilla, but that's kind of the boring option. But where else?
Variant Shack. Come on, it's easy.
I'm gonna go Gravity for Varia. That's my official guess.
Boo.
And there are actually quite a few places it can be. There's 2 in the wreck ship. There's 4 in East Meridia, and then there's Waterway, Grapple, and Mama Turtle. Oh wait, is X-Ray also a possibility too? That's hilarious.
Beefy found the middle of Red Tower, but then reset from there, and then MM2 just never went over there. So yeah, we didn't even see it.
Wow, that's another option. I had completely forgotten about that. Boom! Shoutouts to the people who time things in the practice wrong, because I won't. 9-9 loses. I will update everyone here on our schedule coming up. There are 2 series on the docket for tomorrow, assuming tomorrow is the 6th of September and you are not already currently experiencing that date. So here at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we have OK Beamer versus Fringo Fox. That is a dual stream. We will have English commentary here on this channel, Speedgaming Main, and it is also being broadcast in German. Oh my gosh, Varia was at X-Ray. That's hilarious.
Look at that.
Charge was in the same place in both seeds, and X-Ray had a suit in both seeds. That's really funny. So here on the English side, it will be Kupo and MM2 doing the commentary, and then on the German side, it is Holy Smoke. So if any of you happen to be listening to me commentate in English at a very early time there in German-speaking countries, yes, you can check out Speedgaming Deutsch tomorrow for the match. And then at 6 p.m. Eastern, myself and Glove will be doing battle. That one does not currently have a channel assigned to it yet, but that should be a couple of exciting matches. That is 8, 9, and 7, 10 here in the bracket, so should be some very close matches. I know Glove and I had a pretty cool series back at SGLIVE last year, and she definitely wants her revenge, and I have to do my best to not let it happen, but definitely looking forward to both of those series tomorrow's. And then we've got a couple on Sunday, as previously mentioned. Farflu versus Ace Zero, winner of whom will face MM2, and then Digga Digga Dang versus Sunvu Farmer, which is the other little part of our quartet with myself and Glove. So lots of very high octane and intense Super Metroid action coming your way this weekend. So do keep those keep those schedules on the lookout to see what channels things get assigned to. We do need some crew signups for tomorrow. No tracker yet for the morning match, and no crew at all for the match with myself and Glove. So if you're interested, give it a sign up. maybe I'll approve you. Maybe Koopa will. We'll see which one of us gets to it first. But yeah, as it stands, thank you all for joining us here. Thanks to Adam for joining me here in the first race, filling in for Sloters, who was running a little bit late. And of course, thank you for joining me as well, Sloters, and Jestro, our illustrious tracker / setup man / just awesome dude in general. Any final words for us, Sloters?
Nope, I think you guys covered. Thanks, DJ, for commentary, and Jestro for tracking, and WX Fan for game 1. GG's to both MM2, BFrobber. We'll see MM2 moving on to the next round.